Hello, I'm Wesley Falk with ERA Strahler Real Estate, and I'm excited to bring to you part two of my video series, When the Elephant Leaves the Room. I've changed it up just a little bit. I know last week I said I was going to do agent positioning in part two, but because of your all's feedback, which I greatly appreciate, I decided that the majority of the questions being that I was a little vague and didn't identify who the elephant was, that we would spend part two on that. So I took your list of questions and gave them to Becky Bolton, um, one of our top producers here at ERA Strahler Real Estate, and asked her to ask me a few questions that were similar to ones she had. So with that, I will turn it over to Mrs. Bolton.
All right. How relevant is the elephant in a good versus a bad market?
Um, Probably more so in a good market. Um, if you don't want the elephant to leave the room or even exist, you should spend more of your time and energy and resources in a good market. For example, your builder client, not out of impatience or loyalty, think of it this way. If you're a small builder with 5 homes complete, that could be upwards of $10,000 in interest a month. That's money you never get back.
Right.
So again, your builder clients are quicker to make a change, which is what you do not want to have happen. So in a good market, I think it even references it in our latest Realtor magazine, or maybe the August issue. It addresses as far as marketing, which is part of the elephant scenario, whereas you should spend as much or more in a good market.
Perfect. What is different with the elephant in today's age versus when you started?
Um, Probably the elephant probably didn't even exist when I first got into the real estate industry. And what I mean by that is the resources were limited. It was MLS, it was signage, balloons, and maybe a full page ad in the real estate book, which is all that the chamber would even mail out to people who inquired. So the buyers really had to come directly to you. So you were face to face, and you were given the greatest opportunity. Where today that's all changed.
Makes sense. In your opinion, what would the game changers be? I'm assuming that ignoring these things is how the elephant comes into existence.
Um, well, the biggest game changer in all products and in services is the internet,
Right.
and that's what's allowed buyers to find other resources, which means you've got to capture them indirectly. For example, the culture's different here. We're more transient, whereas buyers in civilian markets, if they're buying a new home, they're more likely to go directly to the source, or if they're buying an existing home, they'll go through a general brokerage agent. Whereas here, everyone's going through a general brokerage agent.
Right.
And I think statistics show 81% of buyers, when they get off the plane, they're already tied to a relocation company, or have significant contact with an agent or a firm. So again, that's 4 out of 5 buyers that you're not going to have direct contact with. So they have many other resources to find you and make that decision with you having zero input.
Right. Okay. What does that mean for the listing agent then? I know that's kind of a broad question. I'll probably get a broad answer, but what does that mean for the listing agent?
Well, it means that the agent, back to my first video, where in my opinion we have gone from an agent-driven market to a firm-driven market. And what I mean by that is you can't do it all yourself. Um, you need to have the resources. Um, and don't get me wrong, open house is very important. It's mandatory, and I'm not discounting that at all, but there are many other things you have to be doing now. And again, in my opinion, for example, when you're not at open house doing these other things, Are you with a firm that's going to have trained agents to sit in open house for you? Relocation companies. Do you have access to agents on a daily basis, face to face, where you're capturing part of that 81%? Those are, it's not just the training, it's the relocation, it's open houses, a combination of all those things versus when I came in just doing open house. So
Makes
I
sense.
think that's
That was all I had. I appreciate you answering my questions.
okay. Well, thanks very much, and I look forward to you all next week with video number 3, which will be agent positioning in the marketplace. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and thank you, Becky. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.